Welcome everybody to the channel Learn Python with Pyto. In this series of short classes, we're gonna learn what is Python, its basic concepts, and how to use it. We will also introduce Pyto and the idle word. But most importantly, we're gonna have fun. So first thing first, what is Python? Python is a language, and like any other language, it allows us to communicate ideas. But instead of sharing those ideas with a person, Python gives us the power to communicate with computers. As you probably know, computers don't speak, so you have to write those ideas in text files as commands so it can read and execute those actions. All those files are what we call programs. That's why we say that Python is a programming language. Not clear? Don't worry. Now we'll see what it means in practical terms. By the way, where is Pyto? Pyto? Ah, there you go. Come, don't be shy. As you can see, Pyto is a curious snake that, once upon a time, while he was crawling, fell in a hole and found himself in an unknown world. The idle world, a world where everything is possible. But now, it's just an empty world and he is stuck in it. That's why it's the best to help you understand what's behind the scene. Like any other world, it has its own specific rules that we'll discover little by little. But before exploring this extraordinary world, let's talk a bit more about Pyto. Like any other snake, he crawls, can weave in and out pretty much everywhere. He can talk, but he flicks his tongue, which is pretty cool. And he is fast. I mean super fast. Pyto, can you show us? See that? I told you. But there is more things that differentiate Pyto from other snakes. First, as you probably noticed, he has big eyes. So, he can read just like us and distinguish the wide variety of colors of the idle world. He also has an excellent memory. He just has to see something once to remember it. And finally, he has a long tail. You probably say, quite common for a snake. And you'll be right. But Pyto uses it to grab things, all kind of things, and we'll see that it comes in handy. Now that we're done with the introductions, you're most likely wondering what to do with Pyto and how can we interact with him. Pyto can do a lot of things, but he's kind of an hesitant person, so you have to tell him precisely what to do, where to go, among a wide range of possibilities. We will basically guide him. But how can I interact with a snake that doesn't talk and that is stuck in an unknown world behind my screen? That's a good question. And here is the answer. If you want to communicate with Pyto, we have to learn his language, the Python language, which is not a spoken, but a written one. As every language, it has its own specific rules, grammar, spelling, punctuation mark. But don't worry, Python is a very simple language, and we're gonna start by asking simple stuff to Pyto and enrich our vocabulary as the series progresses. What do you think, Pyto? Are you okay with that? Perfect. So once we know what we want Pyto to do and how to express it, we write it down in the text file. And that's why this area is for. Okay, so in this text zone, we will write orders called commands that have their own properties and meaning. Those commands form blocks that interlock more or less like Legos. And our goal is to assemble them to get Pyto to do what we want. And as you write it down, a world with levels, crossings, pipes, obstacles in which Pyto will move, crawl, and carry data comes to life. That's why, when you start a new project, the idle world is empty. You create the world where Pyto will operate. This is more like creating a map that Pyto will explore, just like in video games. I told you it's gonna be fun. I didn't lie. Once done, and you made sure that there is no spelling mistakes, You just have to run the program by pressing the green arrow on the top right of the idle. As soon as you click, Pyto will immerse, read, and execute, meaning it will follow your commands and perform those actions step by step. If you ask Pyto to give you a feedback on what it did, the result will show up in a special zone located at the bottom of the idle, called the console. But remember, I told you that Pyto was really quick, so here is what happened at real speed. Impressive, huh? Don't worry, Pyto will slow it down for you to see what's happening. And that's it for today. Congratulations! Now we know the basics. What is Python? What is a programming language? And why we use it. In the next episode, we're gonna see what is a variable and how Pyto uses it. So it's time to immerse into Pyto's world and interact with him. Let's get started.